Greetings, my name's Matt and I'm from the church's team here at All We Can. I'm delighted to be with you just to share a short message taken from John chapter 2, starting at verse 11, taking us all the way through to verse 22 today. I hope it might encourage you as well as Jesus has exited the wedding at Cana and he heads over to the Jewish temple for Passover. Before we kind of get to that moment in the story and we kind of unpack that just for a few moments, have you ever had those words spoken over your life? Maybe you've spoken them yourself. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. Those words are so cutting, and I have to be honest, I've felt those words for myself. Maybe I've even spoken them out before as well. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. Often these words can be spoken out. Maybe disappointment is a feeling and an emotion that you have felt most recently. I'm sure we've all felt a certain level of disappointment in our life in different areas maybe. But maybe you're going through a particular season right now, disappointment. If that is you, I want to encourage you to stay with us just for a few moments as we unpack this story in John's Gospel. Because we see, like I said, we see Jesus go from this wedding and goes to the Jewish temple in Jerusalem to celebrate Passover as is accustomed. And we pick up with the story from verse 13. And 14, in the temple area, he saw the merchants selling cattle and sheep and doves for sacrifices. He also saw dealers at tables exchanging foreign money. Jesus made a whip from some of the ropes and chased them out of all the temple. He drove out the sheep and cattle, scattered the money changers, coins over the floor, and turned over their table. Jesus got rid of all these people from the temple. Charles Wesley, in one of his hymns, once wrote, "Gentle Jesus, meek and mild, look upon this little child." Gentle Jesus, meek and mild, look upon this little child. Here in the text, we're not seeing this gentle Jesus no more, are we? We're not seeing an out of control Jesus, no, but we're not seeing a gentle and meek and mild Jesus. We're seeing a Jesus that is frustrated, is maybe in parts angry, but I think overall, we're seeing a Jesus that is disappointed. We're seeing a Jesus that is disappointed. And that's what leads him to want to get rid of all these individuals. But why is he disappointed? Why is Jesus simply disappointed? Well, the reason why is because he understands what these individuals are doing. These individuals are being crooks. They're effectively manipulating the situation within the life of the temple, this Jewish Passover, and manipulating those that come and basically duping them, basically conning them. Because often people couldn't travel to the temple because they travelled for miles upon miles with their livestock. They couldn't do it. So individuals knew this. So they'd go to the temple and offer these animals for extortionate prices to be able to make extra money. And Jesus sees this injustice. He sees these people doing this very act which upsets him so much so that he decides to cast them out. Jesus is so disappointed with the injustice that he's seeing, it leads him to action. You see, change begins with disappointment often. Often when we face and encounter disappointment, we have a choice. We have a choice whether we're actually going to act and do something after a disappointment that we feel. And many of us stop at the disappointment. For many of us, the disappointment is kind of the excuse for us not to continue to do anything. Often the disappointment is kind of the nail within that coffin of our potential. But you see, Jesus takes that disappointment and acts on it. He acts on it for his Father's sake, because he says there in Scripture, "Get these things out of here, stop turning my Father's house into a marketplace." See, Jesus takes that disappointment and actually does something with it. You see, that's an encouragement for each one of us. But actually, when we look out and are disappointed, we should be led to want to make a difference, to make an impact. See, in the life of All We Can as a movement, we are disappointed when we see young children have to travel 10 kilometres to get to school, there and back. That is a barrier for many individuals to have to get to school, in particular in the community of Buzagai in Uganda that we're journeying with throughout this Lent journey. There's others just like them who are facing disappointment in that community, being widowed or having to look after huge families with very little support, being impacted by COVID-19 themselves. You see, change begins with disappointment. Because when we face disappointment, we are faced with a challenge. Do we act or do we not? Do we be like Jesus and see the injustice and act upon it, or do we simply stay silent? My encouragement for us today is that we will not stay silent when we're disappointed, but we will act today. I want to encourage you that we can do that together as a part of the All We Can movement. So join us as we continue here at All We Can to see lives transformed, see every person's potential fulfilled, and we see how change begins with disappointment.